That is why it is so important that all the developed countries, but also all others who do have the ability, rise to the occasion. That is the only way we're going to arrive at the levels of public and private sector financing that the problem simply needs. So rest assured, it is not just us. It is a far larger group who sees that, because otherwise it will simply not add up.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. I'm looking a bit further back in the room.
Can I
yes, of course, sir.
It is the European Parliament's position, one specific call on the broadening of the contributing base, and we specifically referred some countries that have now another responsibility today, and so our view is that we do have to be credible in the negotiations, every party. And therefore, if today the consequences of climate change are much more visible than 30 years ago, then all the countries responsible for it also have to jump into the table and put the money where their mouth is. And therefore, we would like and we expect that there is some movement, be it more specific or in a more broadened way, but at least that there are some movements in expanding the donor base. Because after all, we are talking about climate financing COP, and if we do not deliver on that, with everything that has been referred to, in particular from the EU, and the willingness to jump in, but we need the others to move forward. You mentioned credibility. It is true that we have been leaders in the fight against climate change, that we have put forward very concrete proposals for decarbonization of our economy, but we need also the assistance of the other countries to be able to actually make sure that the countries are further assisted and supported in this, that is a global effort.
Thank you very much. Yeah, question straight in front of me. Yeah, lady with a hand raised. Yeah.
Hi, it's Marta Mondojo here from Agencia EFE. Mr. Commissioner, what is the EU position on which flows will be counted as the new climate finance within the NCQG? Will it support, or does it support, that north-north flows are considered, or only north-south, as developing countries are asking? Thank you.
In general, and again, I know this is disappointing, but I also have to keep an eye on the negotiations. In general, we try to count as many of the things that are helpful for our friends and partners in the global south, and that is why I've mentioned the money the European Union has always put on the table. Out of the roughly 100 billion, that is a third. I have been mentioning the private sector money that we have been bringing to the table. I've mentioned the MDB money that will be substantial. And clearly acknowledging that is a different category. There are, of course, other countries who have been paying, who might not be part of the developed world, but are still doing meaningful things. I do think it makes sense to at least connect the dots between all these various amounts.
Okay, I think we've still got time for a couple more. I'll go here in the front row.
Lucas Knigge for Table Media. You always said that one prerequisite for putting forward a number is the widening of the contributor base. Now China has already signaled that they're willing to be more transparent about that. What is the new prerequisite then to come forward with a number? What else has to happen until you be transparent on what is discussed on an EU level? Thank you.
Well, first of all, we have indeed embarked on fruitful conversations with our Chinese counterparts. But the world contains many more countries who are not in the developed category, and yet at the same time have accumulated significant affluence. So we're having conversations with all of them towards the end of this COP.
Okay, thank you very much. I will take one more then in the second row, because we've still got a couple of minutes.
Farid Hasanov from BBC News Azerbaijan Service. My first question is for Ms. Pereira. It's a month ago, European Parliament adopted and also adopted a resolution on the human rights records in Azerbaijan, and also called for sanction on some Azerbaijan authorities. I wonder if you had the time to discuss this issue with Azerbaijan authority within the framework of the COP29, and actually when the European Parliament adopted this resolution, they called European Commission to stop a gas deal with Azerbaijan. Did you have a conversation? Did you have a discussion or meeting between European Parliament and European Commission in this regard, and what was the outcome? And my second question is about for Mr. Hoekestra. Azerbaijan side criticized EU of boycotting the COP29 in Azerbaijan and said they failed to do so. What was your comment on that issue? Thank you so much.
I can tell you that we have not yet met the colleagues from the Committee on Foreign Affairs from the Azerbaijani Parliament, but we will, and I would be happy to report on that when it happens. Thank you.
And if I get you correctly, sir, you were asking me to reflect on the criticism that the Union received. You're referring to last week. Is that what you mean? Yeah. So I mean, in general, I think conversations between partners and nations are always there to sort out the things you agree on and also the things you don't agree on. Having said that, I do think it is important that all of us manage to make sure that whatever bilateral criticism there is, whatever conversations are ongoing, we separate that from the indispensable role and the role of neutrality a presidency has to play. And I do think it is very important whenever we embark on these type of international negotiations, particularly with all the difficult geopolitics that are going on, that a presidency shows the ability to play that role. And that is what we will continue to advocate for.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner. Thank you, MEP Pereira. That brings us to the end of our time. We will let you know throughout the week if there are other press opportunities for the European Union delegation. Thank you very much.
The sound continues to be not optimal.
Yes.